None of these careers appeal to me at all. And I'm like, I don't want to be away from my family. I'm saying this as an 8-year-old child. I'm like, who wants to be away from their family for 40 hours a week? Like, how are we living like that? How do you, just my thoughts on a 9 to 5. I can finally share it with more people than just my best friend. Even when I was, let's see, as young as I can remember, maybe around 8 or 9, when people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, nothing sounded good to me. You know, people say doctor, lawyer, nurse, a teacher, firefighter, you know, the norm that you hear. And I'm like, as a kid, I'm like, none of that sounds appealing to me. None of it. Because the fact that you are away from your family for 40 hours a week, I did not understand that at all as a child. I'm like, who would want to spend 40 hours a week away from your family working for somebody? I never understood it. It did not make sense to me as a kid. It never made sense to me. It never made sense. So when the question came up, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I had to think hard. I'm like, I've got to answer the question like, you know, like everybody else is answering. Oh, social worker? That didn't sound good to me either. And I'm like, I don't even know what I said back then because none of it sounded appealing to me. College didn't sound appealing to me. I'm like, I gotta go to college. I don't even know what I want to go to college for. None of these subjects interest me. None of these careers appeal to me at all. And I'm like, I don't want to be away from my family. I'm saying this as an 8-year-old child. I'm like, who wants to be away from their family for 40 hours a week? Like, how are we living like that? How do you raise a family like that? I know y'all probably like, that's just how life is. But it never made sense to me. Hence that now it's been like, I went to college. Let's see. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Went to college when I was 18 because my mom said, my parents were like, oh, and that's the norm. You got to go to college and get a good job. And I'm all, I don't want to though. I went to college and I'm like struggling to find something to major in. Just did not appeal to me. My mom had, she had some kind of certificates or some kind of money for college. I went, didn't like it, and I'm struggling to find something to major in. And I picked social work, and I'm like, why in the world would I do that? I gotta be dealing with family and domestic violence stuff. No, no. Dropped out, went to another college, struggling to find something to major in. Nothing appealed to me, nothing in sports, nothing in medical, nothing. But I'm like, I'm trying to fit in and find something to go to school for, to say that I went to school for something. So I did, before I went to a second college, there was a program, this is years ago, it was a medical assisting program. It was free because I was a military wife at the time. Joined it, and I'm like, okay, I know this is not gonna pay much, so whatever. I did it, and I worked as a medical assistant for a couple of years, went back to school because I'm like, I don't want to further medical assisting to nursing. I don't want to deal with sick people. Like, why would I do that? I don't want to. Sorry, I don't want to. Again, more schooling that I did not want to do. I don't like school. Went back to school, what am I majoring in? Only thing I thought was cool at the time was sign language. What? Like thinking, what job can I get as a sign language interpreter? That went down. Went to a university, struggling to find something to major in. Again, trying to fit that, like, oh, she's a single mom and she's going to college. It's like I wanted to, when people ask me, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to school. I'm in college for this and that, just to say, for people to say, oh, that's awesome, you're going to school. Knowing darn well I didn't care a lick about going to school and getting a major. I just did it because it looked good. It looked good to people, like, oh yeah, she's in college. It's not what I wanted to do. Went to college and I thought, ooh, something in sports medicine maybe? Because at the time I thought I wanted to be a personal trainer. I never really finished college at all. I never got a degree. I mean, maybe out of the 3 colleges that I went to, I probably have enough for an associate's degree, maybe. But it was never my thing. I hopped from job to job to job because I didn't like working long hours like that, 8 hours. Who wants to work an 8-hour shift? I just, for somebody else. And they set the pay. We're paying you this. It's like, I just never, oh my gosh. I've just like really struggled trying to find what is for me. I've tried different like MLM companies, businesses or whatever, and I just don't think that was my thing. Although I learned a lot of personal development came from that, a lot. Always looking for entrepreneurial something, like I just want to be my own boss, but I just never, I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't know. I'm still trying to search for that. What is for me to do? What am I supposed to do that I could work for myself, that can have my own thing, that I don't have to clock into anybody? I'm still searching for that at 50. Gosh, yeah, it's been a struggle. I've had so many jobs. I get an itch after maybe a year or so. I'm like, hey, I'm done. I don't want to work here anymore. You know what I mean? Like, right, the job I have now, I'm like getting that itch early on. I started this new job 3-4 months ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting the itch. I don't want to clock in. I don't want to clock into nobody. But at the same time, it's like, okay, do I have something else going on the side? I'm looking for multiple streams of income, and I'm not relying on YouTube right now. I know I'm very patient with this thing. That's one thing I am patient with, because I'm very impatient with a lot of things, but I know YouTube is just a slow, I don't want to say a slow growth. It's a journey. I'm not in a rush at all, and I'm not looking to get monetized tomorrow or next week. But I'm not even tripping on. Anyway, I don't know. Sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, girl, you are behind in life. You know, I look at myself, I'm like, I'm 50, I don't have a retirement plan. I haven't been on my job for the last 30 years. You know, I haven't had the same job for 20, 30 years. I just don't have anything. But I know it's built for more than just a 9 to 5. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, what is it? I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? I just feel like I'm behind, but I don't want to. But I'm learning that there's a lot of people that are in the kind of the same boat. Like, you're not behind. This is just my journey, and it doesn't have to look. It doesn't have to look like your typical. Oh, you're 50. You should be retiring soon, or you should have a pension. You should have been on your job for the last 30 years. You should have this going. You should have a home. You should have investments. All that, you know, at 50. I don't have any of that. I don't have any of it. I feel like I might be in a better place as far as what's the norm nowadays. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be so hard on myself. Do you guys feel that way? I don't know. I don't know. Times have changed, certainly. And it's not, now people are not going for jobs they're going to be on for the next 30, 40 years and retiring off, you know, from that job. Everything's digital, everything's, you know, everybody's doing all these side hustles and so many different new ways to earn money other than a 9 to 5, clocking in for the next 30 years. That's not the thing anymore. It's not a thing. So I am not so hard on myself. I'm trying not to be. I'm just accepting this is my journey. I've made my choices, and I'm trying to do better now. And definitely not going to a 9 to 5. Yeah, just figuring out what my purpose is in life and serving others. How do I serve others? How do I be of service to others? Yeah. Do you guys feel that way? Anybody, or any like a similar story or similarities of what I'm talking about? You're 50 and you have nothing, but I feel like I have God in my life. We have a good relationship. trying to make it better. And so I think the way my life went, if I didn't have the relationship I have with God, I would probably be so depressed right now. So depressed. But thank God, He's been saving me this whole time, and He's been with me this whole time through the rough times. Oh man, I've had some hard times. And through all the good times, He's been there for me. So I'm gonna make it, no doubt. I don't know what the future holds exactly, but I gotta take action. I can't sit back and wait. I've got to make some moves. I've been the one where I'm like praying and praying and praying and praying, and nothing's happening. And God's like, and I'm learning God's saying, you need to make a move. Do something. I'm right here. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Anyway, can anybody relate? I just need somebody that I can relate to and be like, oh, they feel the same.